Hello and welcome to the Optoma Creative Board Introduction webinar. Today I'm Ben Brown and I'm going to be introducing you to the thing, and I will be ably assisted by...
Hello, my name is Michael, I'm the UK Technical Product Specialist.
So really today is us going to be taking you through some of the base functionality of the Creative Board. What we want to do is make it easy for you to be able to use this technology and for you to be able to take it into the classroom, get the benefits from the collaboration and working together using our technology, but whilst not totally changing the way that you teach. I think this should be an additional technology, shouldn't be the thing that changes the way that you teach. Neither Mike or I are teachers, so we're not going to try and tell you how to do that in any way, shape or form. But what we can do is we can show you some of that key functionality that we have, and we can take you through that and how you might be able to implement it and use some of those key functions to be able to enhance what you're doing in the classroom at the moment. So firstly, what we're going to do is just show you a PowerPoint. Obviously here is our PowerPoint for today, and look, basically you will be in your classroom and you will have either an Optoma Creative Board, a Series 3 or a Series 5. Both versions come in a 65, a 75 or an 86-inch size format. The one we're using here today is 75, as you can see. And actually the interface that you will use and that we will use will be the same on both of those series of products. So what we show you today should be what you see on your panel in the classroom. There are previous versions. If you've got one of those, the functionality again is very similar. Please come and talk to us. We can obviously show you how that works. I suppose one of the things I wanted to just show on this PowerPoint was the ability of us to be able to show you what is different between these two panels. So firstly, on the 5 series, one here, the one that I'm using today, we have the quick launch pen, and we'll talk about that a bit later and the benefits that you'll see from that. Another one of the main differences here is the increased processing. The 5 series does have better memory, better RAM, better processing power, which actually in the classroom, just using it day to day, you wouldn't notice a massive difference. What it does is just help speed up if you're using multiple videos or have got a lot of programs open at any one time. Finally, we have USB-C on both our 3 and our 5 series, but on the 5 series, there's a rear USB-C connection. And we know a lot of installs in education do use those rear ones for the installation. On the 5 series, that's there. And what USB-C now does give you is it gives you the ability to have data, video, and audio through one cable. And also the benefit with ours is that's powered USB-C. So actually plug in that one cable, it'll also charge your device as well as actually providing all of the content to the panel. However, what I'm doing at the moment is I have my laptop connected via HDMI and a standard USB. And what you've seen, it will work in exactly the same way, there's no different. But I suppose for a teacher, when you walk into a classroom, you want it to be as easy as possible. With USB-C, it's a single, just a single plug put in, single connection. But the worst it's going to be is a HDMI and USB, which will get you up and running, and you'll get this. I think the other thing that I'd like to say is everything I've used so far is just functionality from PowerPoint. Slides and PowerPoint have their own built-in touch functionality. I've not used any of the functionality or the processing that's within our panel at the moment. What I'm doing is I'm annotating using Microsoft's tools, in this case, on a PowerPoint that we had previously. So if you're using PowerPoint or slides to deliver your lessons, what we're doing here at the moment, you could do on any of the PowerPoints or slides that you already have. And obviously these tools are built in, we saw them here. You have the ability to blank that screen if you want the children to concentrate on you while you particularly go through a point and then go back to that PowerPoint when you want to. These are all built in. Again, if we want to just end the presentation, come out, simple as doing that. It then asks us if we want to keep our annotations. So if we've made annotations through that PowerPoint, we might want to retain those because we've had a really good lesson or a challenging lesson, and that will allow us to be able to learn from that and see how we built and the frameworks that we use to construct that lesson. So for this one, we'll say that we're going to keep it. As you can see, then it comes back to the PowerPoint, as you would expect to see, exactly the same as on your laptop. But what you can see here is the annotations have stayed in your PowerPoint. Again, you're retaining those. If you really wanted to and actually wanted to save a copy of that particular lesson, you could do. But for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight those. I'm going to highlight the annotations that I've made because I don't think I need them. And the same as a double click, I just hold on to it like that, delete, the annotations are gone. That PowerPoint's back to the one that I had initially. And what that allows me to be able to do is go to the next time I teach that lesson, use the same PowerPoint, and as you could see, quite easily to take that away. Now I'm just going to nip back to the home screen that we have. This is what you will see on your panel when you turn it on. You can see down in the bottom right from the applications front, it's got the laptop there. You can change this to whatever you did. If you've got desktops, whatever, you can change the naming on that. But basically that allows me to flip straight back if I want to go back to my PowerPoint, and if we want to go back to the panel, we can go back to that. It's that easy, it's that quick. We don't want you to be having to press lots of buttons and find where you're going. It's easy, simple. You can see straight away where you're going on your creative board. If I look through some of the other applications that we've got on here, we've got Creative Board, which I'm going to go into in a minute. We've also got Creative Cast Pro. That's a tool that allows us to be able to cast onto the panel things from around the classroom externally and be able to share content. We'll go into that. We're going to only be doing some real basics for you today, so we'll probably be following up with that in a bit more detail because there's a lot more that you can do with that. There's a browser built in, so you can just quickly access the internet if you ever want to be able to share something within the classroom. File Manager. We're not going to go in that a lot today. I think that'll be another one for another webinar. But what that allows you to be able to do is save all the content that you're creating on your creative board and also be able to link into the cloud. So if you want to be saving back into your actual cloud storage, you can do that directly from the panel. File Manager allows you to be able to do that. I think one of the other things as well on here, and I've left it to last because I think it's quite important, is on that home screen you've got the ability to be able to access tutorials, which will allow you to be able to quickly learn at your own pace how to get the most out of your creative board. It's great you're going to be listening to me for 15 or 20 minutes today, but 2 weeks down the line, it'll be a distant memory. I'm really not that memorable. But what it allows you to be able to do is revisit some of the things we've discussed today, the themes that we've discussed today, and you can learn at your own pace, which I think is really important. One of the other things I just wanted to pick up, if we look down in the right-hand corner here, there's a little piece of functionality that I think is really useful within teaching. Built into all of our panels is the ability to record what you're doing. If you attach a microphone to the panel, what you can do is you can record the lesson. So all I would need to do to start recording a lesson, this is just what's happening in the panel, and obviously while I'm talking over the top of it, all you need to do is you just press record, and off you go. It's starting to record, it counts you down, and off you go. It's really useful. You can use this in a number of ways, but some of the ways that teachers have shared with me that recording is really important is, one, actually, you might want to be setting homework. Rather than just telling them to write a few bits in the book at the end of the day about what you want them to do, actually they can access a video that takes them through what their homework looks like. Or the ability to actually record a particularly important lesson when maybe you're going through some of the key things for an exam, etc. You can go in, you can record that and just share that recording with the class. I think it's great. You can just, at the simple press of a button, you're off, you're recording what you're doing. And it's as simple as to do, is to stop that, it will save it for you. I'm going to cancel, we don't need that one. You can save that and it will just save it into your files on here, and then you're able to share it out to everyone off the back of that. So I think what we're doing is we're trying to take you through some of those key bits of functionality and what you can do in the classroom. So I spoke a little bit earlier about the quick launch function. So one of the key things for you is us making our technology feel like you would teach in a classroom. Possibly next to your interactive board, or possibly next to whatever you had previously as a solution. You may have had a dry whiteboard. Now, when you want to use that dry whiteboard, you pick up the pen and you start writing. Well, actually, it's exactly the same as a creative board. I'm left-handed, so I'm just going to bring the menu over to me because I want it over here, and I can just start writing straight away onto the board, and we're off and running. But the good thing is, it will recognise differently different people writing on it. So I've obviously started writing with the thin end of my pen. It's recognised that that's me that's writing. I'm obviously the teacher. However, the fat end of the pen, and you've seen Mike's just use his finger, is recognising that that's a different interface, and it allows you to be able to show that. So the work that you're doing, you can see where the students have contributed and where you have been building up the lesson, the framework of what you're doing. And again, if you're using dry whiteboard, you would just want to wipe that clean. And that's exactly what you can do with the creative board. Again, making it very similar to how you would use your normal solutions that you've got in the classroom. If we look at some of the other bits of functionality that we've got here, we've obviously got a pen, we've obviously as well got highlighters you can use. There's some different things around the eraser. If I go to the pointer, what this allows you to be able to highlight things in S6. I think one of the things that could be, quite important is if we take things like this and you turn it to text. There you go. It's gone wrong for me that time because I've not got rid of this. So, but what you can do is change that into the text. And what I'll do is I'll write that again. Then if I just use this, I can highlight that and I can change that straight away into text. You know, you might want to write on here, but actually the students like to see that in text. What I've been able to do here is just switch that off into text. We've also got shapes on there that you can bring in. We've got 2D shapes, there's some 3D shapes there as well. And also we've got a ruler, protractor, if you wanted to use those. Basically around mathematics would be the ideal place to use those. As we look through, we also have the ability to be able to write using text. So you can basically just write in the text as you would expect to, just using text boxes, putting in things like that. But then if you don't want them, you can just get rid of them, delete it away. We've also got down the ability to bring in files. So we talked about those files earlier. It's easy for you to access your cloud storage or the storage of things that you've been using on the panel and just drag those into your whiteboard. Again, we're creating the whiteboard to be the hub of the lesson. Really what this has allowed you to be able to do is bring all of your content into a single place, bring out that, bring together that lesson in the way that you want to deliver it. Well, I'm not going to bring anything in from here. However, what we might do, and let's say we were going to be doing a lesson, let's do the life cycle of a frog, because I've been doing that with my children over the summer because we've had frogs born in our pond at home. And we might want to be going to try and find something externally. What we can do is we can open up a browser within the whiteboard. This browser is within the whiteboard, it's built in. What it allows us to be able to do is quickly search for things that we're looking to look for, bring things in around. So we've gone for the life cycle of the frog here, and all I'm doing is I'm just going to hold that particular picture of the life cycle of frog, and I'm going to bring it over to here. As soon as I've done that, we can just close down that web page. We've now got this image. This image can now be used by us. We can then start annotating over this. And what we're doing is we're bringing things from different places into the lesson. It's really important that it's just easy to be able to drag and drop and bring things into the lesson for us. And I think once we've done this, what we're doing here is using all the tools that are within the whiteboard, but actually we then might want to start using other bits of functionality within the panel. And I know I spoke about the browser. For example, maybe what you want to do is you've got something, some content on the browser you want to bring in, you want to share that at the same time. So what we can do is we can split the screen. Let's put the creative board, let's put our whiteboard over on the left hand side, and on this side we're going to use our browser. And on the browser here is we've got a video. We're obviously doing the life cycle of a frog, so off we go. The video starts running. Thing, we haven't got the volume on now, but if I just turn it up to the speakers are plenty good enough for you to be able to get plenty of volume for you to be able to share this video, all the children will be able to hear that. But then also what you can do is you can continue to work on your whiteboard whilst this video is playing in the background. And what we're really trying to do is allow you to be able to use different technologies, share different solutions to bring all this stuff together, sharing it in the classroom. As I say, we can make that full screen so you're really focusing in on the video whilst there's some work going on the whiteboard. You can ask the students to obviously contribute to what we're doing and how we're delivering that. So I think it's really important we wanted to do that, but actually that's a really nice picture, and it gives us the fact that we wanted. I'll tell you what we could do here is we could take a little snapshot of that. What we're going to do is we're going to screen capture that part of the video. So what we're going to is we're going to an external video, we're sharing that video with the students, but then we want to take some of that back into our whiteboard. Well, what we'll do is we'll just insert that in to our whiteboard. There it is, it appears over there. We actually don't need the video anymore because that was the piece that I was trying to get back to. We can come back off that, we go straight into the creative board, and the creative board will creative board has got what we wanted in there. So you can what's happened then? So
It's live for everybody.
it is live, exactly. There's live for you. It shut down in creative board. I haven't done that once in the whole time we're doing it. But again, what we're doing is we're bringing things in and sharing that creative board. Now, one of the other things that we wanted to go into was our ability to then be able to share content from out in the classroom. Could be the children have been doing some work, they want to be able to share that back into the rest of the children, or you want to share a particular piece of work that's been done, and we do that via Creative Cast. So Creative Cast we mentioned earlier, that's just been opened at the moment by Michael. I don't know if you want to take people through here exactly how you're accessing Creative Cast, Michael.
Yeah, I'm just so I've opened Creative Cast on the interactive board, and then I'm looking for the green dot on my app. I've got blue, green, yellow, and red. So obviously we've got a few different screens in the building, but so that's the one I want. And then it prompts me to enter the 4-digit PIN. So obviously that stops people from outside the classroom from taking over the board. And then if I go to camera, it then brings up a live camera view, which comes up after a couple of seconds. And I can rotate it so it's full screen, and then we can show a textbook here where you can see a few animals including frogs.
So this is an actual textbook. This is my son Jack's unfortunately been doing something last year in his science book that came back over the summer around amphibians, which sat in quite nicely. But what we might want to do here is we might want to take a capture of that and bring that back into our whiteboard. So again, we just go to that capture function. We're going to take the full page, if you can go back to it, and then we're just going to insert that full page back into piece. Again, we've got the work's come back into here. I'm going to bring the menu over again as well, but we can move this around, bring it over to here. We can then write if we wanted to. Well done, Jack, because he managed to spell reptile correct the second time, and we're bringing different content back into it. We can obviously add as many pages as we want, so you can add a second page here, which you can then continue to be able to annotate on, bring content into the lesson. It might be that we were going to be doing it around different parts of the world. We've got a lot of different things in here. Where are we going to find particular frogs? What frogs are we going to find in different parts of the world? And then actually, at the end of the lesson, once you've brought all this together, it's become that real focus for how you deliver the lesson. At the end of that, you can obviously share what you've created on this whiteboard. Now, what it'll allow you to do is, maybe not so much in primary, but in secondary potentially, children may have their own devices. They can just scan this QR code, and those whiteboards are shared with them, so they can take them away. They can review these lessons, they can look back at them. So not only can you record them, you can actually share what you're doing on the whiteboards, and actually you could save this whiteboard as well if you wanted to. Obviously, interacting, whether it's with Teams or whether it's with Google Classroom, you could then share this whiteboard out in the same way, really allowing you to build out a lesson, share with the students how you built out the lesson, the content that was delivered within that lesson, and doing all of that digitally. I think really for today, that's about all we wanted to really talk about. We're really trying to make the basics easy for you to use, and I think hopefully today has given you a starter on that. We do expect that to be a start for you. There's going to be a number of different ways that you can access content from Optoma. So firstly, today, this has been recorded. You can always go back, re-access this webinar, which will show you exactly what we've done. If maybe you've missed exactly how we got to something, please come back, re-watch it. It should take you through that quite easily. Secondly, I think what we'd really like to try and do is continue these webinars so you get to see more and more of the functionality that's available. I think we'd actually like to come and see you. So if as a school you'd like one of us to come on site, work with you on how to use this technology and embed it into the pedagogy that you use within your school, we'd be really keen to do that, and we will come and see you very soon. And as I mentioned earlier on, the tutorials are on here. We're going to continue to work on that, continue to build out the content that's available for you to be able to make the most out of your investment into Optoma Creative Boards. I'd like to say thank you for joining me today.
And thank you very much.
And I look forward to hopefully speaking to you again very soon.
Bye for now.
Thank you.